Viene. PlayStation, además de zumbar el Pro a un precio catastrófico y tener un marketing súper malísimo, tiró Astro. Y dicen que pues uno de los mejores juegos que ha hecho PlayStation. No va a abundar mucho. Vamos a ver esto. No olvides seguirme. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, para que vean todo lo que estamos haciendo. Vacilen con nosotros. Sean parte del journey. Y lo otro lo dejamos por el final. Vamos a ver esto. Corillo, si no han jugado Bolt Gun, dense la oportunidad a Warhammer. Voy a probar Dark Tide y probablemente Liga Space Marine. Luego de que exploremos un poquito. Yo no soy fan de Warhammer, no le he metido a Warhammer. Sí me interesé un poquito desde el año pasado, así que estoy explorando un poquito lo que hay por ahí. A ver qué es la que hay, corillo. Vamos a ponerle pausa a esto rapidito. Vamos a ver este review de Astro. By the way, he visto un par de gente y un par de gameplay por ahí, así que vamos a ver qué calidad podemos poner esto. 4K, vamos a verlo 4K. Fuímonos. Vamos a ver los reviews de Astro.
I can now die knowing that I've blasted bubbles of honey into the air using an elephant's trunk, jumped up on them to reach the top of a triple stack of chickens hiding in eggs,
PlayStation, ¿será esto lo que te salve este año?
Same trunk. In other words,
además de el Pro a un precio exorbitante.
PlayStation games. But there's never been a mascot platformer among them to rival the heights that Nintendo's
Esta es la
Mario
mascota, vamos allá.
reaches. Crash Bandicoot tried, Jak and Daxter had a decent run, even Knack had a go, bless him. Now though, a true contender has arrived. Packed with dozens of colourful levels and experimental abilities, Astro's latest outing thrusts him onto centre stage, joined by a supporting cast of PlayStation's past heroes to provide hours of pure joy. Bursting to the seams with charm, Astrobot is an inventive, nostalgia-fueled platformer of the highest order.
Yo no voy a mentir, este juego by default va a ser bueno visualmente, en cuestión de engine, porque los juegos que hace PlayStation no son malos. Pero fuera de eso, PlayStation debe trabajar un poquito su marketing. No le vendría mal volverse un poquito más competitivo y adaptarse un poquito más a lo que está pasando y a cómo se mueve la tecnología. Eso no es nada malo. Realmente, cuando las cosas van cambiando, pues cambia todo. La forma de hacer marketing, la forma de tú manejar tu negocio, incluso cómo tú transformas lo que viene siendo el contenido. Empezamos cassette, yo recuerdo, o sea, cassette, CD, MP3, todo. Mira cómo vamos ahora, que si digital, ya mismo, no sé, tendremos algo así, transparente, un diamante ahí, bueno, y ahí mandaste las cosas y las guardaste, quién sabe. Pero la tecnología va cambiando y las cosas cambian, y la industria también ha cambiado y las necesidades de la industria. So,
if 2020's Astro's Playroom was like a museum, albeit one with fun playable exhibits, Astrobot is like a theme park, throwing a new thrill at you around every corner and after every double-jumped gap. It doesn't always deliver the bonkers creativity that drives the likes of Super Mario Galaxy and Odyssey, but that's hardly damning criticism when swings of that size are rarely taken outside of Nintendo's walls. What developer team Asobi has designed here, though, does successfully evoke the spirit of those great platformers by birthing novel stages full of visual flourish that...
La realidad es que... ¿Gusta que esto me está...? Se me fue el internet también. Cuando estoy viendo esto... By the way, sería injusto poner este juego a competir con lo que... Déjame chequear el internet, by the way, que estoy teniendo problemas yo aquí. El internet está todo bien, así que let's go. What the man?
Ever cross the line into becoming mere
Sería
novelties.
injusto comparar esto con Mario.
Standouts are a time-bending casino,
Mario
a
lleva mucho tiempo un juego.
Level with a humorous sponge system
Es la mascota de Nintendo.
And a smart
Y
level
Pokémon. Yo considero Pokémon y Mario las mascotas.
Depending on whether a day or night button has been pressed. That last one in particular features a fantastic use of 3D space, while also feeling like a page torn straight out of the Fez playbook.
Este es el juego que necesitábamos para Play.
Astrobot
es bueno,
really
pero...
is the video game equivalent of venturing through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, a delightful concoction of experimentation and joy, just without the child endangerment. Chocolate death pipes and fizzy lifting drinks are instead swapped out for sinkholes leading to treasure and an inflatable friend
Esto es un
who
juego,
helps you reach...
perdonen, que by the way, PlayStation debió tirar gratis para los usuarios de PlayStation Plus. ¿Sabe? Como regalo, papi. Todo el que se me suscriba al PlayStation Plus le damos Astro Bot. Par de suscripciones.
Floating
Para que
platforms.
sepan.
It even feels like some popping candy has smuggled its way into your controller as it fizzes and pings away, sweetly reacting to whatever is happening on screen. Astrobot is a showcase for the DualSense's bells and whistles unlike anything since, well, Astro's Playroom at the PS5's launch. Triggers tighten in your fingers and rumbles are sent through your thumbs. Raindrops tickle your palms, and I found my whole body involuntarily drifting from side to side as I guided Astro's ship with the motion controls. And while there's nothing to quite rival the GPU earworm of 4 years ago, despite the best efforts of a
Derechos de
giant
autor,
singing tree,
papi.
the music
Nintendo
is a
está al garete.
consistent
Cójalo con
delight
calma. Mira, ya Palworld se fue. Porque Tier está, mira, a
That
punto
soundtrack
de
scores levels that seem simple at first,
morir.
but soon unfurl themselves to reveal tantalizing depths and secrets. Most are fairly linear, but some go the extra mile and are enjoyably knotty, providing sandbox-like areas to hunt for collectibles in. There's never the openness found in the large by comparison Mario Odyssey levels, but enough nooks and crannies to get stuck
los
into
niveles de Mario
There are
Odyssey
even
están al
whole
garete.
extra levels to find within
Se ve bien el
levels,
diseño
with
de level.
warp points hidden like buried treasure that jet you off to new locations.
Pregunto, perdón. ¿Nintendo también tiene derecho de autor de la bandera? Perdonen.
The Lost Galaxy. I'm a big fan of this Russian doll structure and the way it introduces new lands. It ensures a constant supply of surprises throughout Astrobot's roughly 9-hour
se ve cool, en verdad, pero
and some of those
para mí es un juego que debió
unexpected
estar
treats are the
en
new
usuarios
powers
de
that Astro
PlayStation
gets
Plus.
along his journey.
Adelante.
The basic movement of our little robot pal is great, with his jump, double jump and hover hitting that sweet spot between floaty and finely tuned. But it's the temporary abilities that come with each level that make things truly exciting. The Twin Frog gloves are a particular favourite, with their sticky tongues flinging out to provide a grapple swing option. They're also spring-loaded, meaning any incoming projectiles can be sent back from whence they came, exploding in an enemy's face. I also very much enjoyed the mouse mechanic, which reduces you down to a super small size, effectively turning on Toy Story mode that lets you clamber up oversized shelves and leaves in search of secrets.
Pero ¿por qué las monedas con el logo de PlayStation? ¿Cuál es la necesidad? Tanta atención hace falta.
For example, the Monkey Climber is an evolution of Playroom's climbing ability, but the assistance of a small robotic ape with huge hands this time means rocks can be hurled and ground pounded to great delight. Laurels are never rested on either, with new ideas and gadgets introduced right up until the final encore. Although some mechanics are reused a little more than I'd like, when such powers are recycled in later levels, they're thankfully recontextualized and given slightly new uses. Outside of bosses and mini-bosses, there initially doesn't appear to be a great range in enemy types. Sure, some are coated in different colours of paint or dressed to fit in with their surroundings, but they are all vanquished via the same few fundamental jump and hit combos. Later on though, the design book opens up and introduces some of my favourite foes. Those include an anthropomorphic playing card that flings a hand of clubs and spades your way, which you can then jump on to make your way towards the enemy to deal a killing blow of your own. Much friendlier faces can be found frequently though, over 150 of them in fact, as characters from PlayStation's
Eso sí, vi que puedes conseguir diferentes bots de eso y después te reúnes con ellos y vacilas y te pones a bailar y todo y es como que, ok, un village, algo así.
library
Viene que el internet está hoy que no quiere cooperar. Jodita sea, no te pongas.
Like Lombaxes, Tomb Raiders, and a certain rapping dog. But delightfully, some are plucked from the more obscure end of the scale. I'll let you discover those for yourself, and you'll never know where you'll find them either. For example, you'll rescue everyone's favourite tactical espionage action hero from the unfamiliar surroundings of Creamy Canyon, a desert-based land dressed in sprinkles that's a far cry from the steel and snow of Shadow Moses. It's light touches of irony and slapstick humour like this that keep Astro's playful tone going throughout. It really is just a delight from start to finish in this regard. Many of the PlayStation characters
sería bueno
appear
para
as short,
speedruns,
cameos,
porque es bastante entretenido en cuestión visualmente.
Roles. I won't spoil who gets the star treatment here, aside from one, the previously revealed Kratos.
Yo creo que este jueguito puede que lo veamos en GDQ. Honestamente, nosotros no tenemos el YouTube Premium, así que corillo, lamentablemente nos toca como ustedes, como cualquier Juan del pueblo, verlo los anuncios.
His introduction sees you wield his ice-infused Leviathan axe and take on
Bien,
the role
que hay
of
un
the
level de
exiled
God of
Spartan
War.
himself in a thrilling change of pace.
Bomba.
The frosty blade boomeranging around the level. It's here where Astrobot becomes truly magical, elegantly blending nostalgia with new ideas. Such moments essentially let you play these iconic games in miniature, lending Astro their powers and letting him loose in a level entirely built around
implementaron
familiar
eso
stories and
de los juegos?
Soundtracks
Ghost of Tsushima deberían tener un level de Ghost of Tsushima.
They're charming
Obligado.
and often the real highlight of the experience. I just wish there was one or two more of them, but perhaps I'm being greedy. It's clear from the very first frame of Astrobot just how much love and reverence Team Asobi has for the history of Sony's consoles and their library of games. You choose a new save file by selecting one of 3 original PlayStation memory cards and then thrust into a
Yo tengo un memory
card
card con Final Fantasy VII.
In terms of story, well, it's right. That mothership crash lands on a desert planet after an evil alien attack, and Astro must now travel the galaxy searching for its missing parts and crewmates. But a deep story isn't what you're here for, is it? Free from the now standard PlayStation Studios themes of threatening apocalypses, familial woe, and coming-of-age pains, Astrobot is all about following a cheery little metal bloke around on his adventures. That's not to say it won't spark an emotional response though, not through any great feat of nuanced writing, but when bumping into ghosts of PlayStation past and greeting them like an old school friend you haven't seen in a decade. The Crash Site Hub world has its own areas to explore and is packed full of quirks, such as eventually letting you customize your ship and outfit. The gacha machine mechanic makes a particularly enjoyable return, providing a satisfying way to spend the thousands of coins you'll collect. The way it builds out the hub with memorabilia and miniature dioramas for the PlayStation themed bots to adorably call home again proves a fun, tangible way of visualizing your progress through the adventure, rather than simply watching numbers tick up on the screen. It's not brand new for the series at this point, but still hits all the right spots. I arrived at the end credits after 9 hours, but had only collected 206 out of a possible 301 bots on my journey. There's plenty to do after the main levels are done, including finding the remainder of the crew, building out the rest of the hub base, and unearthing new secrets among the stars. There's so much in fact that it took me another 9 hours, so 18 in total to 100% Astrobot, and acquire the Platinum trophy that comes with it. While I'd never say
el hombre lo hizo 100%. So, no vino a hacer el review. Pasé 2 levels y les voy a dar un review. Bebo, me lo hice 100% el juego que pasó. Y aquí está el review. Está bien, papi, le sacaste platino.
Ever approach being truly difficult in the pursuit of that 100% completion goal, some enemies or obstacles did take a few tries. Thankfully, checkpoints are often generously and frequently located, meaning you're only ever moments away from the spot of your previous demise. An extra level of difficulty can be found in the semi-hidden
speedrun de Mario exagerado, por eso digo que este jueguito tiene potencial para speedrun.
Littered with fast-moving objects, numerous enemies, and precise gaps to hop across that are designed to trip you up. Throw a complete lack of checkpoints into the mix as well, and these are easily some of the toughest tasks in Astrobot, with a final level that's a real tough nut to crack. It's a non-stop gauntlet of quick-fire threats that made me piece together everything I'd learned up until that point in a frantic
Visualmente este juego se ve lindo, no se puede negar. El veredicto, vamos a ver. Asumo un 9.
Astrobot made me smile from beginning to end. A collection of endlessly inventive levels and fantastically
yo le haría 9/10 porque no se lo dieron gratis a los de PlayStation Plus, asumo.
Never once becoming even remotely dull.
Asumo porque no sé.
And while you don't need a long history with Sony systems to enjoy it, it is especially a delight for those with a piece of PlayStation in their heart, as a treasure trove full of playable nostalgia awaits. Taking the PS5 marketing mantra that play has no limits more seriously than you'd expect, Team Asobi has crafted a mascot platformer that goes near enough toe-to-toe with Nintendo's best efforts. And that's about as high a compliment as I can give it.
Bien. Es obvio que es un 9/10 y asumo, quizás no menciono nada malo técnico, ni que el juego tuviera, qué sé yo, algún desperfecto que le dificultó, pero asumo que PlayStation también puede hacer algo un poquito más para el corillo de ellos, ¿entiendes? Yo no les voy a mentir, a mí me encanta Play, pero es que nada, júzguelo usted. Analízalo usted, en fin, cariño. No olvide que voy a decir en dónde. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, para que vean todo lo que estamos haciendo. Sean parte del journey, vacilen con nosotros. Vamos a estar viendo un par de cositas por ahí. Así que antes de irme, como siempre yo les digo, Happy Gaming. Yo tengo que meterle, ¿qué hora es? Yo tengo que meterle a Bubblegum. Nos vemos, corillo, cuídense.